This. Okay, do you remember, Frankie? Tight.
Yeah.
Do you remember your Monday footwork stuff? Have you been practicing? Have you been practicing this footwork? Show me your first, and then you can. I want to see it first. Okay, guys, do you remember? If you don't, or you wasn't here, quickly, watch what I'm doing. Same again with the 1-2s. If I say, Michael, if I say 1-2, 1-2, I want you to step and change the angle. Yes. Okay? 1-2, step with your back foot, change the angle. Only on my shout we throw the punches. That's a 1-2. If I say 1, well, let me get there, son. Yeah, go and see him. Go and see if he's all right. Go and see if he's all right, Michael. Listen in, Mason. I don't want to be answering questions of what to do. If I say 1, step with your front foot, change your angle. 1 step, change your angle. 1 step, change your angle. 1-2, back foot, change your angle. Okay? Yeah? 1 and 1-2, different ways.
Lee Hogan here, VIP boxing down at Birkenhead Venture Boxing Club with the pride of Birkenhead, Mr. Sean Masher Dodd.
Yes, brother.
Former WBA and Commonwealth lightweight champion. Sounds good, that, doesn't it, mate?
It does. It does, yeah. And especially when you were talking about it all.
A bit
it's
of title
nice.
challenging.
Yeah, it's nice reflecting and as we were saying then, talking about the...
it was funny when you were talking to the kids at the end there, because that's why I come down to see you. Yeah. Because I wanted to know if there's life after boxing. And,
oh yeah.
And you'd been pretty quiet after you retired. You wasn't as relevant on social media as you used to be.
I'm not even on it now.
You know,
I'm completely off it.
You used to be though, didn't you?
I used to be active on it, mate. Yeah, that was one of my problems.
But the good thing is, Birkenhead Venture is very active, and they really promote all the kids and what.
Oh
what
yeah,
this
Sean's
does.
great with it. Yeah, I mean
does.
you need that. It's a news feed.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? For the gym, you're on it. Yeah.
Well, but I seen you.
That's where you've seen me.
Yeah.
On the Ventures news feed. Do you know what I mean? So that's enough, isn't it? It gets out there.
Yeah. It made me smile. It made me smile because the old Masher's back.
It is. Yeah.
You know,
he is.
Happy, fun. You know, loving life, and you had a. I mean, you came to us. I think you were at 7 or 8 fights into your career. You just challenged for the Central Area Super Featherweight title, and we got you on at Olympia. Do you remember when we sat?
That's right. Yeah, Liam Richardson.
Liam Richards,
yeah.
Little 6-rounder, and I think they were struggling to sell tickets because Stephen Smith was fighting. I think it was a world title eliminator, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And they wanted a big ticket seller.
Yeah.
To come
save
down.
the show.
Yeah, it was.
Literally.
It was to pack the place out to make it look good on TV, and you got the last minute call up, and realistically, you fought Gary Butland, you know, former. I think two times British champion, two-weight British champion, prize fighter winner. You know,
yeah, he's a monster, wasn't he?
Good kid.
I remember watching him, seeing Gary Buckland, you know, back in the day.
And you weren't
never thought I'd ever fight him.
Well, you weren't meant to fight him, and you were also stepping up because prior to that you'd been campaigning at super featherweight.
Yeah.
Well, this was at lightweight because he'd moved up. He'd been beat. I can't remember who beat him. I think it was Stephen Smith who beat him.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And so he was coming back, but at the new weight at lightweight, and he was going to challenge for the British title when he beat you.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
No.
And what a fight! It was a brilliant fight, mate.
Yeah,
and I got to know you then a little bit, and I used to come up here a lot to see you, and you used to do a lot of sparring with the VIP boys.
Yeah,
Damien Jones and
all
the lads down there.
Yeah.
And I like to think we had a good connection, mate.
Yeah, we have. We still have. Absolutely. That's why I hugged you when you come. I said, give me a hug, just a heart to heart, and feel you, lad.
Well,
I missed you.
And that's the thing about you. You always you always left your heart. You wore your heart on your sleeve when you were fighting, and that's why everyone loved you. I think that's why you got the fan base that you got, and everyone. I don't think anyone ever had bad words. I remember speaking to, you know, the kid from IFL, Oscar.
IFL, oh yeah, I do. Yeah, he's got a weird accent, and where's he from?
I don't know, down south.
Is he London?
But he always liked you, didn't he?
Yeah,
and,
he sounds
he always
Oscar.
made time for you.
Yeah, I like
and,
Oscar.
And we used to sit and chat about you, and you just got one of those things like Ricky Hatton had, like Dave Allen has, you know, it's this likeability factor.
Yeah.
And if you mix a bit of talent with that, then it's a winning formula. And we didn't know if you had any talent. But then after Portland win, we thought, ooh, we might have something here. But I don't know what you were thinking when that was took on. You knew that it was an eliminator for the British title and the winner would fight Scott Cardell for the title. But did you think you'd win that fight? Did you?
I'll be honest, yeah, I did, because obviously I only had 3 days notice, so I didn't have like winning thinking about it. I was just training and getting myself prepared to fight anyway. And then we got a phone call. I remember being in the house getting a phone call, and I had a gym session on, and the lads were saying, Sean Trodden said, look, Eddie's been on the phone, wants to know if you'd be interested in fighting on Sky Sports in 3 days' time against Gary Buckland. I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, okay, right. Phone him, you know, let him know, yeah. And he went, well, come to the gym so we can confirm it, and then we'll phone him when you're in. I'm like, phone him now so it doesn't get given to anybody else. I'm going to do it. I shot straight down the gym, come running in with me, helmet on, was like, phone Steve, phone him up, let them, you know, get it sorted. And yeah, they got straight on the phone to Steve Woodsy. He got on the phone to Eddie, and yeah, it got confirmed. And
that was everything.
Then I knew, right, it's on. So I was like, do you know what? I just thought, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to have to beat him. I'm going to have to. I've already said I'm going to fight him. I just had the feeling that I was going to do it. I knew I had to go to work. Can I just give Victor the socks?
Of course you can.
I just knew, come in lad. I just had to go to work, and the Grinch. Yes lad, yes good.
See you later, mate.
See you later mate. Ta-ra Victor. I thought I'm going to have to go to work here and win, but I'll be honest, this is what makes me who I am. Like you said, a lot of my fights I was the underdog, big underdog. I shouldn't have been in the ring with half of these lads because they on paper they were a lot more experienced, a lot better. And yeah, I was just thrown in there just to, here he is.
But that night, everything changed for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything changed for you because your next fight was going to be for the British title. I mean,
yeah.
I remember when I spoke to you, when you first signed for us, and like say, you just fought Liam Richards, spoke to you afterwards, and I said, well, what's your ambition, what's your goal? And you wanted to win that Central Area title again because you just lost to Andy Townsend, and you know there was a dubious decision about it. It was stopped when you felt like it shouldn't have been, but that was your goal, and that was perhaps even your end goal. You never really looked past that, and suddenly you're now fighting for the British title.
Yeah.
You know, against a former GB England captain. You know, this is, you know, Scott Cardell was the man at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And you gave him a real scare in that first fight, mate. It was like, you know, I know it says on the box rec, you know, 12th round TKO.
Yeah. But that's paper and records, you know what I mean?
It was, what an atmosphere, mate. That I mean, how many tickets did you sell for that? Was it about 2,000?
Do you know what? It just felt like them few years of fighting and big fights, all I done was sold tickets.
It's good, wasn't it, though?
Well, not just me, ask Stacey. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, let's put it
maybe Mo asked Stacey, don't you? She,
you
know,
Stacey's
like, that's all we
there.
done, and that's all that was going on, really. It was just massive amount of tickets just getting sold constantly.
But do you remember when I come down, I come down regulars to see you before you went on the big shows, and we'd do our little videos and chat, and when we got out of the car, because you took me, you was going to get your hair done, you didn't have, your beard done, you had no hair then at the time either.
Yeah.
So you were having your beard trimmed.
Rangies.
Yeah, and we went in there, and on the way down there was cars slowing up. Go on, Masher, bibbing their horns. It was like, you know, you were infamous, mate. It was like everyone knew who you were. I
had a good support from the hometown. The energy and the people were good. But you know what? I mean, I wasn't shy, and I wasn't scared, and I wasn't afraid to step up and become something. Because once I started boxing, I was like, when I was sitting there today and I was thinking back.
Let's just go back then before you go on. You started at 25, mate.
That's what I'm saying. So
25.
I was fed up of what
you won those titles and became those champions. And a 25-year-old starting boxing, and not even professional boxing. That was amateur boxing you started.
And I didn't fuck about. We went straight into amateurs, no white collars, none of that. Do you know what I mean? I went straight into the amateur code and fought.
You won the developments, the under 10s and the under 20s, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you turned pro.
Yeah.
Because your aim was to go into the Royal Marines, wasn't it? And then Sean said, Sean Trodden from here, he said, why not give it a little go? You thought, oh, why not?
Yeah, and that's all it was. Yeah, I was training for the Marines. Because I was fed up. I wanted to change something within myself and my life. I just knew what I was doing wasn't working. So I was seeking answers, and I have been for a good few years. And boxing's helped me find them answers. And yeah, it's been amazing, mate. Because I just went and done something and followed something myself. You know, no one's told me to do it. No one, encouraged me. It was just something that I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Well, we got to the stage where you're about to challenge Scott Cardell, and it was a dubious decision at the end, and we all thought you was up on the cards. And
I was up. Listen, everyone knows. You watch the fight back. I beat him fair and square, 4 rounds. I gave him the first couple of rounds because he was too, pantsing around and didn't want me to headbutt him, as they were saying, do you know what I mean? So they were doing a bit of that, but I soon caught him up. I soon caught him and I soon got on him and I boxed him and I beat him convincingly 3, 4, 5 rounds on Bellews cards and people.
Well, did
Johnny
you
Nelson's.
think going into that fight, you said you thought you could beat Buckland. Did you think you could beat Scott Cardell?
First, going back to the Buckland fight, I was like, right, this is it, I'm in here. And I knew I had to do my homework. And when we were talking about not having anybody close enough to me to help me in relation to boxing, there was nobody, there was just myself and just the coaches. So to beat Gary Buckland, I had to come up with a plan or a couple of plans just in case the first one didn't work, because I know what he's capable of doing. And I figured something out. I tried something and it worked, and I kept on doing it and it kept on working. And you can even see it. I've seen a replay, and you can see the replay of me doing this little combination, and I'm like, there you go. So and that won me the fight. Going into Scott Cardle, completely different type of fighter. This is where it all changed for me in the professional game, where I really got down and deep into my homework about studying fighters, studying the body language, and then understanding then how they work, what works for them and what they don't like, and seeing something and thinking, if I tried that, I wonder how they respond to that. So I would try and spar them, and we'd imitate with, Sean was good, and Danny did always get sparring partners in to try and imit the fighter who would be fighting, but not just that sole one fighter. They'd also bring in a couple of random ones as well. So, for instance, I'm fighting Scott Cardle, I'm prepared for Scott Cardle, who is hands down, head movements, all flashy and all of that. Cameron Halfpenny.
Yeah.
We'd get the likes of Cameron.
Potato, you like it when I say that.
Totally. We'd get kids like that in who
and much bigger.
Yeah, and bigger as well, who box a bit like him, do you know what I mean? Who flash like that. And then we'd have people there who would be, textile upright, do you know what I mean? And boxing a little bit different, just in case he's changed his style. So we were always prepared for something. But I would watch Cardle and I'd see something in him. And I knew I'd get him, because he had the rhythm of moving his head, and he was just so stuck into this rhythm. I'm just like 1, 2, 3, bang, 1, 2, 3, pop, and that's all I'd done in the second fight, because I watched the first fight, And people have habits that they can't really change. When you've got a habit, you've got a habit. And his habit...
And he'd been boxing a lot longer than you.
Yeah,
He'd
yeah.
been boxing since you were a little kid. So he'd been boxing 20
so
years.
he's stuck in habits.
You've been boxing, what, by that time, probably 5 years altogether?
Couple of years, yeah, literally, yeah.
You know, from the amateur days till then, you know, where he'd
Yeah,
been
it was
20
only a
years in
couple
the
of
game.
years, yeah, I was in the game and I was in there with Cargill. Yeah, so it was just about me figuring out the person in front of me, which is a problem. And all I've got to do is find the solution. And that's all it was. I just seen each boxer just as a little problem in front of me. And how do I solve this problem? What's the solution? And if you just stick to the basics, it's as simple as just a slight little adjustment of something. And that was it. Gary Buckland.
But I also think you talk about you solving them as a problem. People have to solve you. Because you were very unorthodox. Yeah. You know, you had a unique style, like I was saying before, when you beat Patera, who actually went on to have a fantastic career.
European champion,
twice
he was good, Patera.
Phenomenal. And,
he was
and he looked
hard.
Phenomenal against you.
Yeah,
he was. 2.5 rounds.
He was.
And we was thinking, oh my God.
He nearly knocked me out in the second or third round.
Mate, he was brilliant. But
yeah, he flashed me like.
That was perhaps a turning point when he had caught you.
It was.
And you decided that, hang on, I can't stay off him like that. I've got to be on him. And you was on him and on him and on him.
Yeah.
And I called it Masher mode.
Yeah.
And it was...
we were having a look at him in the first round. And then he was good. And then when it come the second round, he was even better. And when we come back, they were going, what are you doing? And I'm like, just having a look. And they're going, you can't keep looking at him, do you know what I mean? But I was thinking, how do I solve this problem here? Because he was a little bit different. When I'd seen him, you know, fighting, he didn't have much footage.
No, there wasn't.
No, I mean, and I got sent footage of him, which was DVDs, and I remember thinking, are he tricking me? Are he sent me old stuff and he's going to be completely different? So I studied him, but didn't take too much from it. But what it did do, and what I was trying from the very first round was, I had my body tilted to a bit of a right angle. Because he was good with he was tall and he was good with his long straight shots. I had to move my head and body on an angle that it was a little bit further away for him. So he had to lean in and overcommit. And the first 2 rounds, he was just getting me. And I'm like, he's getting me. But I think, like, I was just showing him a bit too much. When the third round come, after the second round, we come to the third round, the lad said, Sean was like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just looking.
I used to say to you, because I used to come here and watch you spar, and sometimes I couldn't understand what you were doing. But there was always method to your madness.
Yeah, always.
And I remember speaking to you afterwards, and I'd say to you, well, what were you thinking then? And you'd explain it, and I'd go, do you know something? Right. And it always paid off.
Yeah, I never sparred a single person without looking at them straight away and saying, right, this is what I'm going to do to you. I always had something in my head, like, this is what I'm going to do to you. Whether they were taller, whether they were bigger, whether they were shorter, whether they were faster, whatever. I just knew straight away how to nullify their goodness, how to take away what they're good at, and then get on them what they're not so good at.
I used to speak to a lot of fighters who were ready to spar with you, or who was watching you spar, and they used to look at you, and you used to think, this is going to be easy. This is going to be easy. And then they get out afterwards and I'd speak to them and they went, that wasn't easy.
The amount of times when I've been in there sparring and I've had lads, you know, being outside the ring and I've heard them talking as I'm sparring somebody, and then I've heard Sean and I say, yeah, do you want to jump in with him then? And he's gone, yeah, come on then. I can't say names because there's been that many. And they've gone, yeah, it sounds like they've jumped in with me, even after I've been doing rounds and I've just bladdered them. And they've gone, what? And they've gone out and they went, wow, didn't think he was that good. Or I didn't think he was that quick. It wasn't like this, what it was for the majority of people, it was my timing. You don't have to be fast. Even though I was quite quick, I was just at the timing. If you just time it right, it's effortless.
One punch you used to throw you over, because you did a little bit of switching as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, you used to throw you over and right, and you throw it like in slow motion, and you just land that little bit. And then they sort of like get used to it. And then as you're doing it again, you just step on it.
Yeah.
In the last 6 inches, and then suddenly it became a nasty punch.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Same with
and
the
they were
jab.
accepting it.
Sometimes you just throw a little jab out. So they'd come on and think, oh yeah, you know what, it's not that, and I go bang, and then you just hit them with a good stiff one. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just playing games. People take boxing as a physicality.
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game. And I learned that going through the pro game.
When I used
that
to come
it's
down
all
with
about
you,
that.
It was what used to always impress me about you, was your diligence in preparation. You used to have a little notebook. You have a little notebook for each fight.
I writ down everything I ate.
Yeah, last 4 weeks was,
you know, everything I'd done was documented in a diary, and I'd go back and I'd keep on it because I was always on my own. Do you know what I mean? I never really had a training partner, really ever. I'd only have, like, every now and again, you know, a couple of mates would jump in with me and do a little bit in the camp, maybe a session or two, and that'd be them gone. You wouldn't see them again. So I never had like a proper training partner, even in the gym. We never had, like, you know, some, like, even when we had Sean Lewis, the ginger Mexican here, and Ben Barham. We'd never, like, we'd just see we'd have our own lives. Do you know what I mean? But then Sean went his way. You know what I mean? And I never had anybody. Even for Sean though, me and Sean and Ben, we didn't have anybody who had done it before, experience-wise, to help us, to teach us, to show us. I remember sparring kids in here. One kid called Sam Polak, and I was like, what the heck's he on? And he was fit and he was good. But I'm like, I need to learn a bit from this guy. What's going on? So I remember speaking to Neil about him going to his nutritional shop after the sparring. So I was like, I'm going to follow him. So I followed him up to this, because I knew where it wasn't far. So I followed him up there, waited for him to go in, get all his stuff and go out. And then I went in after it. And said to the counter, what did he get? And he went, he got this. And he just filled it. And I went, what the fuck? And I just went, and I bought it all. Because I thought, I'm going to read up on it all. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what's what.
Well, you did do a lot of reading, though.
Oh, I read books. I went to college. I went because I was in college, and then when I got the Gary Buckland fight, that was when I quit college. Because when I boxed Gary Buckland, I was still in college boxing Gary Buckland. But then when I won that and got the fight for the Cardinal, that was when I had to take every second, every minute to focus on preparation. I didn't have time to go to school, but I'd learned enough what I felt I needed to learn about the science around the body.
So what were you doing?
The sports science. Sports science I was doing in college, and it was fascinating. I absolutely loved it, and I learned loads from it, because I was very scientific and wanted to know everything about the human body.
Every bit of,
I wanted to get the best out of me. Yeah, I wanted to be the best I could be in that ring. And I knew that I had to, you know, learn a lot and try things, make mistakes and take a few risks. And I did. But they paid off.
And yeah, like I say, you know, we spoke about those fights. That was the beginning. Those are the WBA titles. I think after you beat Patera, you ended up fighting Lee Appleyard, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Giant.
Yeah, he's 6'3", wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a monster.
And he used to be super featherweight as well. And you're like, how did he ever make that?
Yeah.
Nice kid as well.
Yeah. His breath stinks though. Only messing Lee. When we squared up head to head
Is that what you said to
for the
him?
press conference, I was like, fucking outside of him. He just went, bigger than what I thought, and I went, yeah, but your breath stinks. And he just went, I thought I'll get into him there.
And then Tom Stalker, which was a massive derby here, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Liverpool, you know, Tom.
Again, a fight that I didn't want, you know what I mean? A fight that I was like, nah, I'm not fighting him. Don't want to fight him. He's too good. You fucking, do you know what I mean? He's a GB Olympian.
Yeah.
I don't need to fight him. I want little wars that are going to suit me. But Eddie Hearn was like, no, you're going to fight him. You have to fight him because he's calling you out. So I was like, all right, sound then. Let's get it on.
You didn't say no, did you?
No, I didn't say no. Not when he offered me the money. I was wanting to fight Tommy Coyle.
Fight for you?
Yeah. I was looking for harder fights in a sense. Well, say harder. but probably what I felt was more easier, suitable for me was Tommy Coyle. He ended up knocking me out. Do you know what I mean?
Was it Batman?
Batman and Robin, yeah.
That was a brilliant press.
Yeah, it was that. But yeah, I didn't fancy the Stalker fight, but Eddie gave me a good offer, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? That is enough to make me go to real, really put the work in even more, intensify it to win, to get this win. And I did, mate. I went home and I done my research, I went home and done my homework, and I studied southpaws, and I studied how to beat a southpaw. I knew there would be a way. There's always a way. And Roy Jones Jr. answered that for me. And he boxed 7 or 8 or maybe 11 southpaws and didn't lose against one. And his philosophy was to step right onto their backhand, stepping into their backhand. So when they throw that and you make them miss, they're squared on then. They're off balance. What you find is they don't even want to throw the backhand because it leaves them a little unsure. They have to reset themselves. So like learning it, watching it, practicing it. And I was doing that in sparring. And Sean and Danny kept going on at me because I was getting caught and it wasn't working. And I'm like, it's going to work though, because I could see it could work. And it was my very last spar with Ben Barham. Yeah. And Ben was southpaw. And Ben's tall like Stalker, big lad, he's middleweight, you know what I mean? And I remember just lying in the remote looking, just waiting and just getting that distance right, you know what I mean? And then I just got the distance right, stepped to the right, he threw a shot, I've stepped, and I've just gone to go, bam, bam, and I remember Ben just putting his knee up, because he felt, he was uncomfortable for him anyway, you know, because he wasn't natural southpaw, Ben. But he was all right southpaw, he wasn't natural. But when he threw that backhand and I'd stepped and made a miss, he was in no man's land. And I knew that was the feeling that I was looking to get from Stalker. Yeah. And his knee come up and I was on him then. And then every round then in that spar, I was just playing with Ben. Because he was southpaw and I had this little move off to a tee. And I knew that day that it was going to work.
But you say all that and there's that side of it, but fitness was a big part of your game. Now, you were fit before you even started boxing.
Yeah,
you were a good footballer, weren't you?
And a roofer, yeah.
Yeah, and but you had a tremendous engine on you. You were relentless. That's what I used to call it, the mash mode. When you went into that and you I remember you being on the bag here and I don't think you had any fight lined up or anything like that. You were just keeping yourself ticking over. You just did 10 3-minute rounds, hitting the bag as hard as you could, constant. And I was like, wow. And you were relentless. I
did have an engine, Lee, I did. We all have engines, it's just how much do you tune that engine in? And because I was late getting into it, and when I first started sparring, everybody to me was talented. So I'm like, and I knew and I learned early on that hard work beats talent. So I'm like, okay, I can work hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's easier to work hard than be talented if you're not talented. So I knew to work hard, and I just worked hard. I had a real hard work ethic. I'm often saying that because that word, work ethic. But yeah, I had that in my arsenal. I knew if I worked hard, I could overcome the talent. I would just outwork them. I would just bring them into hell. I would take them to dark places, because most talent people don't like the uncomfortableness. They don't like to be uncomfortable because they're talented. So they just like to go, bam, showcase, and they're too good to be hurt and get uncomfortable. So I knew if I can get on these kids who are talented, who are really good, and just can get on them right in the face, toe to toe, and just start banging and bring them into a fight, that would take their talent away. Then they're fighting. And then once I'd have them fighting and draw them into a fight where they sort of hate me now. They're like, you cheeky, I'm gonna smash you now. Like you're hit me here. Like I can see blood on their face. You know what I mean? Like they're spitting blood out. I can see the nose is bleeding. You know what I mean? Like yeah, I'm making you bleed, and they could taste it. You know, so I knew that they would get into that fight. And then you know what I would do? I would just go back to. I would then just start trying to box. By they've lost it, and it was all about just playing tricks with the mind.
Well, you know that this 4-year period from 2015 to just before lockdown, or 5 years, and you had about 9, maybe 10 fights, and like you were just saying, all big fights. You were underdog. Were you physically wrecked by the end of that period?
Yeah, because
you know, like normally you get used to, you know, being in that position. You know, you build your way up to it, but you didn't really have a chance to build your way to being a championship fighter. No. You were a championship fighter by default.
Straight in, yeah.
And you, I don't think your body prepared for it. Mentally, whether you were prepared for it, I don't know. But you had to do that all on the job.
Do you know what? Physically, yeah, because Sean done a great job in here. The first fight we had with Cardle, we boxed in the Olympia on the Sky Sports show. So it was Sky Sports, big show, but it was in the Olympia. So the setting is not a extravaganza. Mm-hmm. It's just a nice little small hole show.
Yeah.
With the big outfits in there. So we done that fight, great. When I went and boxed Cardle for the first fight, British title, that was in the Echo Arena. So now this is where Matchroom at the home now, Echo Arena, big platform. So the lights above us were red hot. And that was the first time that I'd experienced top level boxing at the highest because of the setup, you know what I mean? Like I was there, I've made it. But fucking hell, it was hot. I remember looking up at the lights and thinking, seriously? And I remember just fighting away, and I was just sweating to a point where I couldn't take in any more water. I couldn't drink any water.
It was coming out really fast.
It was just too hot, and I wasn't prepared for that. So after that first fight, we got the decision. Trodden went and got a load of these heat lamps, these hot lights that imitate what it's like being in the ring there, and it was hot. And I used to put them over the ring, 4 of them right above the ring, and that was it. Then we'd start sparring with them on. I got used to that, so that preparation was just was brilliant. It was nullus secundus. It was second to none, and we were because I remember it's the Ventures little saying that he hasn't got on here, but he said he has nullus secundus on the Ventures, Sean, yeah. And I remember lads used to come over then, you know, even the lads from Liverpool come over and spar, and Brogan and that come over and he'd see all the lights, like Sean would just flick the lights on and he'd just come on and we'd feel the heat, and he'd be like, what? And I'd be like, yeah, this is the real deal here, this is what it's like under them lights, because I've been there, I know what it's like, it's hot. And I got used to that then. So with the second fight with Cardle, I was flying. I knew I weren't gonna, the heat wasn't gonna affect me, because we'd prepared for that. But what I wasn't prepared for was the mentality. So mentally, I was great on my game, fighting, but I wasn't mentally prepared for lockdown, for instance, for the change in everything in life, the way...
Well, I presume the result, because it was a very, very comfortable win. But it wasn't, it was a draw. But everyone felt like it was easy. It was an easy win for you.
I felt like I had pissed the fight.
Yes.
Because I'd worked that hard. I'd physically trained that hard.
So how did that affect you then mentally? Because that must have been alright. Because the Pasquale fight, do you know what? The Silver fight came very quick after that.
It did.
You had to pick yourself up.
I didn't have too much time to sulk.
Yeah, but Sean didn't want you to sulk, did he?
But do you know what?
Because you were.
If you'd have been me at that time walking around here, like you've seen on the build-ups, it felt like I had one. I genuinely thought I had one, because all I was getting was, you fucking, yes champ, you won that. You know, so I was just getting applauded by everybody I seen, and I could see how hurt they were that I didn't win, that I didn't get the decision. I was gutted, you know, but it was something that I was disheartened with boxing. I was more like, it was boxing, I was like, that's wrong there. And I was a bit upset with boxing, and but it didn't deter me to stay on the path, to keep on going. It was just opening my eyes to the corruption of life, that not everything's going to go your way. There's sometimes things will go their way, and maybe because of whatever, do you know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. That's just how it is. you're not going to change it.
So if you can't change it, don't fret about it.
That's it. You just got to get on with it. Like I said before, I can't say anything about the referee. I can't say nothing about the judges. They're doing their job. It's up to them. I'm a boxer. I'm there to just do my job and give it my best. I didn't get into boxing to become a world champion. I didn't get in it to become Commonwealth champion, British champion, you know, get a world ranking.
Well, how do you look back? Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I got into boxing because I was fed up of playing football and drinking alcohol and fighting on the streets with idiots. I was fed up with being that person. I was scared.
You didn't like yourself,
I was scared. No, I was scared. I was going playing football and big lads wanted to fucking fight me. And I was happening to have fights with these lads because I wasn't ever scared and never backed down. I've had straighteners with big lads, giants, after the match, where they waited for me in the dugout, banging the dugout. I remember playing one game and this kid was banging and waiting, and then when the end of the game come over, number 8, and I was like, oh. And he was like, do you still want it? Yeah. And I went, well, yeah, come on then. And he just come fucking 6 foot up, I just went bam, bam, bam. And lucky enough, I drilled him a bit, but he had me fingers in his mouth. So my finger was biting me, and I remember I was fish hooking him, and his head was, and I remember fishing him, and then we got split up, and then one of my mates banged him out. Yeah, so, well, they're good.
But you were happy with where you're going, so you were happy to do this. But like I said, I remember Sean had to try and really keep your head on it after that draw.
Yeah, and then getting that fight straight after.
The fight was only about 8, 9, 10 weeks after.
Yeah, it wasn't too long. But like I say, the town of Birkenhead kept my head up.
Yeah.
Everybody who supported me made me feel like I'd won that.
And I think the sport even grew even more then, didn't it? After the 2 dubious results against Scott.
Yeah. What did you say?
Dubious.
Yeah, but it done what for me?
I think the support grew even stronger.
Yeah, it did. Like everybody was like, what, you know, like. And then you're tested then as a fighter. How do you respond to that loss? Do you spit your dummy out? Do you sulk? Do you go and, you know, cry about it? Or do you just dust yourself off and just go again? And that's what I done. I was like, you know what? Fuck the referees, fuck the judges. They've been doing it for years. They're gonna keep on doing it to others.
So when you finally got that title, that WB International, was it a relief? Was that like? Yes, finally.
Yeah.
You know, because
when I won the WBC.
Does that give you a world ranking?
In Everton, yeah. I was world ranked. I used to get the boxing news and see myself ranked 16, 17. It was in the teens.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, look at that. There's I am there, look. And I'm talking like, you know, he was at the time who Crawler was boxing. Remember him? He was, he was lightweight, and there's a few, so it'd be hard to say because he boxed so many greats, Crawler. But what's his name? Not Lopez or someone. But yeah, there was a few big names there just below me. You know what I mean?
But you fought a lot of, you know, like, you know, let's say Tom Stalker, huge fight there. But wasn't there talk about you and Derry at one point?
Derry Matthews, yeah. Me and Derry were going to fight.
That would have sold out Liverpool.
Yeah, that would have been good. I think my eldest lad was named after Derry because at the time.
That's all I do was here today.
Derry was here, yeah. And after the time, me and Derry were close. He helped me a lot, taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, good relationship with Derry.
Top man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So to fight him would have been a good one. Do you know what I mean? Because we respect each other. We sparred as well, and we'd had good spars as well in the past. I know I'd sparred Derry where I know he you know,
Who was, you know, like, you looked up to a lot of people because everyone had boxed before. Do you remember Steve Brogan? Was he your final and first senior?
He was my
first 3 threes, was he?
He was my last amateur fight.
Was he your last amateur fight?
Yeah, he was my last amateur fight, yeah. And it was 3 threes, yeah. So that was great, that, you know, it was tough because I thought the bell was broke. And Brogan was just like, he ain't stopping here, do you know what I mean? And like, what's going on here? But I'm like, that was just a round.
but who was the best kid that you moved around with and you thought, God, he was good?
Nick Ball.
Nick Ball?
Honest to God.
Little Nick?
You little Nick.
Well, he is. He's world champion now, isn't he?
Yeah, do you know what? Because I just didn't surprise. No, do you know what? I say Nick Ball. I tell you who the Scottish kid, super lightweight, something Thunder. Not Josh Cat, no. Who's the other one? He boxed Crawler, I think, as well.
Okay.
Scottish kid, Southpaw. Can't remember his name. I sparred him.
Oh, hang on.
Josh Taylor.
Oh, Josh Taylor.
I sparred Josh Taylor.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good humdinger spar because he was.
Well, what he did in his first 18 fights was phenomenal.
Yeah, and I sparred him around that time when he was flying, and that was tough because he was southpaw. And I remember being in that ring at that time and just thinking to myself, what the fuck? And I just thought, I've just got to just go and fight for my life here. And I did, because he's game, and he's a pressure fighter, isn't he?
Yeah.
Southpaw. And he was bigger than me, you know, heavier and bigger. So he just thought, you know what, I'm gonna fucking. They must have thought a little bit of meat here. But I held my own with him, and I took it to him as well.
Well, we've gone through that period, and then lockdown came, and it all like petered out a bit. I know you had a few fights with Eubanks and this and that, but
Kid Galahad, sparred Kid Galahad.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he used to spar Kid Galahad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he opened my eyes to switch hitting. He was good.
you did a bit of that. Though,
But I remember though, Danny Kelly was there that time. I remember because I started switching on him, and they told me to not do it because I was too big for him, because he was super feather, but he was quite big,
yeah.
Kid Galahad. But I remember being on Kid Galahad. I remember having a good spar with him. I sparred Jazza Dickens when I went over to Liverpool to spar a Scouse kid.
Because he used to work with Denny a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, and then we had a little sparring session going on. I sparred some Scouse kid. I went back the next week, and that kid wasn't there, but his big brother was, because I'd had a tough spar with this kid, and I bust his nose or whatever. But he was an England international. He was a bit younger than me, but he was same weight and as big as me.
Yeah.
I'd bust his nose, and I'd give him a tough spar. But it was a respectable spar.
Yeah.
Went back the next week, and there was his big brother was there, and he was wanting to take my head off. So I was like, okay, we got in the ring, and first round he gave me his best, and I started feeling him flag a bit in the end of the first round. So I started getting it back into it. Second round, he's come out again, and I started matching it, started fighting back with him. Then I'm like, I'm getting on you. Third round, he fucked off. I can't say his name because it's not nice to fucking say people. But Jazza Dickens, Jazza Dickens was like, Masher, and I didn't even know them properly then, but he was like, Masher, I'll give you your third round because you deserve it. And I went, you know what, Jazza, thank you, mate. And that was me meeting Jazza properly. He jumped in, and he was like a little wizard, he was. And he was only a lot lighter than me, Jazza, but he was good. He knew how good he was. And he gave me a good round. And I said to him when we finished that round, can we have another one? He was like, nah, you're getting one, and that's it. And I remember going in the changing rooms, and Jazza, the Iceman and Ryan Farag, all the lads there, Satchel was all like, you are the gamest lad we know, turning up and, facing the big brother there and doing what you've done. So, when respect to the lads.
When it all came to an end then, and how long did it take you to re-find yourself, mate?
It took me a few years. Yeah, it took me a few years. I went and lost myself, literally. I had to go and, I had to disappear. I had to disconnect to reconnect. I had to go and find who I was. I had to go and find out like what I want now, you know what I mean? Because I knew who I was when I was boxing.
Yes.
I was a fighter, and I loved it. I was a fighter and I was a father. And when boxing stopped with the lockdown and stuff like that, a few things happened on the outside as well. So I took the time to just focus on my own energy, my own self, and make sure that I was happy, and what I was doing, I wanted to do it. I wasn't doing anything for just anyone, to please anybody. I went looking for myself. I wanted to go and find me.
And how long did it take you to find you?
It took me a few years. I found the cold water with the Wim Hof.
I started doing. I did a video with you.
I still do it now. Yeah, I've done a lot of cold water. Still do it. Done a lot of breathing. Do that.
You got shoes on. Nice.
I've got my shoes on today, mate. Yeah. I doing like ceremonies, using like mushrooms to help me like get over and get through traumas from the past as a child, you know, as children, and sort of wipe the slate clean a little bit. And I changed my whole life because I didn't see any of my family, didn't see any of me, you know, any of my friends. Like, I literally, like, one lad, Crawford, my mate, used to come and sort of help me out. I sort of bit his head off and told him to fuck off. Because I just needed to be on my own.
Yeah.
I needed
to be... in a dark place for a while?
I was in a dark place. I needed to be alone, on my own. And by doing that, I ended up, like, rock bottom. I ended up with nothing. I had, like, literally nothing. I had, you know, couldn't feed myself really properly. I wouldn't leave the house. My dogs died. My dogs passed away.
You had loads, didn't you?
That's what I mean. My dogs passed away.
Loads.
Broken hearts. They died with broken hearts. I'm telling you. You know, I lost my kids because the kids just, you know, were just gone. Do you know what I mean? So I was literally...
Well, I presume you weren't really a good person to be around, were you?
No, I wasn't. Remember my sister saying that they were too scared to come and knock at the house to see if it was okay in case I you know, went at them. So they were too afraid to come and check on me. So I could have...
So what was the thing?
I nearly did. I nearly hung myself, and I could have hung myself, but I nearly did, and I could have done it, and no one would even have known. I could have been dead for months before anyone would have realised I was dead.
Yeah.
Because
so what was the deciding point? So what changed it all for you? What was it?
The cold water.
Yeah?
100%. And I'll tell you what the story. I heard a voice, I spoke to God, and I'm telling you, when you hear people say this, I heard him, mate, loud as clear. You know, he sounded like Morgan Freeman. I'm not messing. I heard a Morgan Freeman talk to me, Lee, and I was like, fuck's that? I swear that. I was in deep meditation. So what I was doing, I'd gone deep now. So I'd gone into the dark. I'd gone into the dark and the depths of myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't nasty, but I wasn't asked about dying. And I wasn't asked about anybody else dying. You know what I mean? Because I knew that it's not the end. And it's not like, you know, and I wasn't asked. I was writing a list of people who I was going to kill. Because, do you know what I mean? Because I was like, I can't handle this. And I'm thinking, I want to do something about it. What do you do? And I thought the answer was to go out and physically do something. But it's not. The answer is to sit silently and still and deal with that and sort this out. And it was hard at first. I couldn't sit still and meditate. I couldn't sit still and just breathe.
When did you start seeing the light?
So what I started doing was, I thought, well, I can get in the cold water. Because of your ego as a fighter, I was like, oh, I can get in that water. I'm not scared of that. I was like, I'll get in that. So I was like, I was doing the dips and I was getting in, and it was a challenge because I was like, oh, that is cold. But I'm like, but I'm going to master you. I'm going to do this until it's easy.
But you started a group, but you do
you did it. Yeah, we shared the message.
Shared
the message, mate, yeah. And do you know what? It was getting tough, so what I'd done is, and I found myself like I was dabbling day in there, you know, so what I'd done is give myself a little challenge. And I was like, and it was like a February time, so it was super cold, super icy, you know, dark times, and I was alone. And I'd give myself a challenge, and I'm like, right, I'm gonna dip every single day in my plunge pool outside in the garden as well. So it was like raining and cold and wind, and I'm exposed to it all. And I'm gonna start on the 1st of February and do 1 minute. 2nd of February, do 2 minutes. 3rd, do 3 minutes. 4th, 4 minutes, and so forth. And I was doing it every single day, getting to 10 days, 10 minutes, and I was feeling this change within my mind. Then I would carry on, getting to like 15 minutes, 15 days, and I remember going past 7 minutes and feeling nothing. And I'm like, wow. And then I got to 23 days, 23 minutes on the bounce. The 24th day, I'd come down, normal routine. I'd come down, go into the kitchen, I'd sit at the kitchen table, I'd start breathing, because that's what helped me focus my mind, because I found myself naturally, just consciously starting to do some breath work, and I found myself just doing breath work, and next thing you know, I must have just gone off into like a deep state without realising it, at the kitchen table, and I just heard this clear as bell. Because in my mind at the time was the baby's mum, the ex, you know, like I was, you know, we blame everybody, don't we?
Yeah.
We point the finger at everybody else if it's not going right up for us, you know, blaming my mum and my dad, blaming my ex. And I was holding on to a lot of blaming her, you know what I mean? And honestly, I just heard it as loud as clear, you chose her. And that's all I heard. But them couple of words, yeah, I opened my eyes. I looked around, I checked, and I was no one to be seen. I even closed my eyes and I was trying to go back to say, wow, say that again. I remember saying to myself, say that again. I swear. But I couldn't get back to that deep, frequent, you know what I mean? Like that deepness, I couldn't get there. But I felt it, I knew what I felt. I knew what I felt, I knew.
And that was the moment.
And I knew I'd sound mad sharing it with people, but I'm sharing it now openly with you. And I have told people, obviously, because I'm open now with it, I'm not shy of speaking anything. But I was at the time because it was freaky, it freaked me out. And I wasn't seeing anybody at the time. It was scary. It was scary, but it was real. And the first thing I done was pick the phone up. I phoned the baby's mum up and said to her, listen, I'm so sorry. I apologised to her from the deepest of my heart. And she was shocked. And then the phone went down, and that was it. I'd let go of that, and that was what was ruining me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
holding on to
negativity, yeah. And that was stopping me from living. So then the minute I'd done that, that was it. Then I didn't get back in the cold for a little bit. I started doing breath work. Then started breathing and started meditating. And every day then I'd come down and I'd just find peace within myself from meditation. And that was it. Do a bit of breathing, started releasing DMT within myself from the breath.
So how long ago was that then? When
this now you're talking.
Moment happened.
Yeah, you're talking a good, 7 years ago, maybe 5 to 7 years ago, I'd say. A good few years ago, and I started building from then. I found this peace within me. I found this realisation that, what am I doing?
So that was like lockdown time then?
Yeah, it was lockdown.
But you still carried on fighting, so when did you get over not being a fighter then? That's what I'm saying, because did you...
Well, I was over...
Were you already over that?
I was over it, mate.
Yeah.
I was over it before I boxed Tommy Coyle.
Yeah.
I was over it when I boxed that, that kid that beat me in the Olympia? Jordan Ellison. I was over it then.
Right.
I went, you know what I mean? I was just boxing because I was just...
You knew nothing else?
Yeah, I knew nothing else, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm like, I can still do this, so why not do it? Because I was enjoying it. I was not enjoying it. I was different. I wasn't trying to achieve. I wasn't trying to achieve the best out of me no more.
You reached where you got
physically,
happy,
yeah, and externally winning belts and titles. That wasn't no more longer an issue. My success was this.
Yeah.
And me being, and I couldn't wait to stop the boxing. Eventually, I couldn't wait. I was waiting for that moment to say I'm done now, and then I can go and concentrate on me. And have a proper break.
Well, when you stopped boxing then, and you had a proper long break from boxing.
I did, yeah. After the Eubank fight,
right?
When I lost that fight, I remember receiving some terrible news days before I left to go to London, and it was sad news. Like I was so blinded by love that I didn't see something, and I should have. Because I was just focused on training and fighting because I was loving it. So I just when we lost that fight, I remember going back to my change rooms with my mate and all that, and I'm like, I'm not arsed. I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm done. I just want to get home and sort my shit out at home.
So when you sorted all that out, how long? Because I love watching you here today. I'm going to put a little video together and we'll put that out as a separate one. Because you've got a great connection with the kids here.
Yeah, I love them, mate. I love them, yeah.
How long before? Because
so this took now, yeah, it's been a few years now, but I've been back now a few months. Good few months. Don't know how long, but it's been a good few months. But I remember, probably say a year ago, when Letitia McKee was boxing. I don't know if it was the Europeans or it was the junior. Yeah, it was something. It was a championship schooling thing, and I was in a great place. I was happy, I was content, and I knew I re-educated me. I found out what you know, when you go to school and your parents are telling you, you know, get a job and, you know, you've got to do this and do that. It's all bullshit. It's all a lie. For me, you've got to go and find out who you are as a person and be the best person you can be. You don't have to go and get a job and do this and earn wages, go and get a house and get a car and get a marriage and have kids and all of the fairy tale stuff. It's all fairy tale. You've just got to live a life of experiences and live at your highest expression. Enjoy yourself and be the best you can be by helping others and tapping into what you're good at. Nobody knows, because we can get conditioned in school to be something. Look at me, I was a roofer. I didn't know I was a boxer. I had that talent until I was 25. Why? Because I was fed up of listening to my mum and my dad telling me what to do, like, you know, to get a job, go to work, do this. I said, you know what? No, I'm not copying yous. I'm done with it. I'm going to do what I think is I want to do. And then, yeah, so, you know, and then, you know, doing the boxing now and the coaching, you know, I found myself.
Well, is this, like I was just saying before, it seems like it's a perfect place for you, you know, because you've got the experiences that these kids, some might never have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been into a level where, you know, most people dream about doing.
Yeah.
And you did it from the age of 25. It's, if you can do it, and surely these kids can believe
of course,
that they can do
there's
it.
There's no excuses for any one of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know coaches will sometimes look and they're looking for the talent. But for me, everyone's talented, because all you got to do is work hard. If you work hard, talent is taught. Nobody's born. I mean, you get the exception. You get a few kids, because you do, because we live on. And you get a few exceptional, talented people that just naturally do things. But majority of people are talented, but they don't know it. All they have to do is train the talents. They've just got to go and do what they like, what they enjoy. Get in it, focus, be happy doing it, and then you will see the talent will come out. It'll just nourish. Do you know? So I see everybody in that gym as they're all talented. We just need them to find it within themselves.
And you've got great patience.
It's all about patience.
You know, these two kids that had a little bit of a disagreement, and you know, you made them bump fists. And it was really nice to see the way you deal with them.
Yeah.
Because you deal with them in a different way. Yes, you're firm with them, but not so firm that they can't have fun. Yeah,
and that's. I'm glad you see that, Lee, because that's what I'm looking for. I want to teach them how to be, what's the word, to take matters into their own hands, to be responsible.
Yeah.
I want to teach them all to become, coming out, champ, come through. I want to, like this one, come here. I want to teach them all to become responsible people, to look after themselves, to be able to teach themselves. So if I can just direct them and show them.
But what boxing does, it just gives you self-discipline.
Come here, lad. Come here, little baby.
Last time I seen him was tiny.
Yeah. Come here, little fella. Come here, lad. Look at him with the units in him.
Not so little now.
Size of him, mate. Yeah, look at the chest on him. Southpaw as well, you know, so big guy.
Yeah, it should all be banned, you know that.
But yeah, me trick, me message is to teach these to be responsible. So when we get sparring on, and we're sparring for instance, I will say to them, go and get your gum shields in first, put your head guard on, then put your gloves on. They'll come up to me sometimes with their gloves on and they'll go, can't do my head guard, I'll go and take your gloves off and go and do it in the mirror. And it teaches them to go and, you know...
Self-sufficient.
Yeah, be you know, responsible to get themselves dressed. Do you mean to get themselves ready? You know, and yeah, and then, but I'm also like, I'll help them, you know, fasten gloves on. I'll help them as much as I can, but I'll also want them to learn to do it themselves.
Well, this is going to be a short video, so I don't know how long it's going to be, because it's very long, but who cares? I've enjoyed myself.
Thanks,
Brody,
mate.
what's it like having your dad as a coach now?
Good.
Yeah? Is he a good coach?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, lad.
And you got your other brother here as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, it's like, it's only a cheap way for you to get what do you call it? Babysitting, innit?
No, do you know why? They've all got a mother each. They've all got a mum each, so the mums look after them all, don't they, mate? My man.
Right, well, Masher, it's been a pleasure. It's good to see you.
You
happy
too, Lee.
and loving boxing again, mate.
Absolutely, mate.
And I loved what you did today, mate. It was brilliant.
Thank you.
And hopefully you can take some of these kids to the level that you got to.
I
Maybe
hope
Brody
so.
being one of them.
Yeah,
Do you reckon,
listen.
Brody, do you think so?
Absolutely. You know what? I want to teach the kids, you know, discipline, skills, you know, confidence, socialisation, respect, trust. I want to teach them that, and if I can be that person to them and give them skills, and they grow up, if they don't box and they go and take them skills into something else, then I've done my job.
All the good things you learn from boxing are all quite easy to translate
To anything in life. That's what I've realised. I don't get me wrong, I've done jobs. I've been a bit of care worker, spent a couple of years doing a care worker at one stage, and I knew that the boxing has made me a great person to deal with these problems in work scenarios, because it allows you to be confident and calm and just to breathe and not panic. And when you're in there and you're in a sticky situation, you have to relax and you can take that into the outside world.
Well, Masher, it's a pleasure, mate.
Lee, thank you, mate.
Still the pride of Birkenhead, aren't you, kiddo?
I am, mate. I've heard rumours of another one coming through, but I can't say his name. I want to say Sean Trodden, thank you, brother, and Dennis as well. Thanks, guys, for... We're coming now, Rob. Come on, come and get it here now. Come and get it yourself. And all the coaches, everybody doing their bit is right. And the McKees, little Letitia, seeing Letitia fight.
What did you say? She's in Germany?
Germany. Seeing Letitia fighting them championships is what made me. I seen her and I was like, and I took our Brody and I was with our Brody watching. See you later, Robbie lad. There's big Robbie G there.
Because young little Chloe Watson, do you remember when?
Yeah, little Chloe. Well, little Letitia was sparring Chloe not so long ago. So it's mad to see that.
Because she ended up getting a knockout last time out, didn't she?
Who?
Chloe
is right. Yes, Chloe. Yes, sister. I love that. Yeah. So listen, thanks guys. Thanks everybody. Yeah, good. Well wishes. Merry Christmas. Get this fella home now. You'll be happy when you're home, won't you, lad?
He's hoping he's not taking after you.
No, he won't, mate. He's going to be better than me.
He's going to have a full head of hair though, isn't he? Those curly locks.
His granddad used to have curly hair like that.
Yeah.
Microphone head.
Nah,
mine wasn't. Mine wasn't.
Now, mate, you're like 25.
Yeah, it was.
No, at 27 you would have been.
I was trying to hold on to it. I was trying to hold on to everything.
I gave up on mine a long time ago, didn't I?
Yeah, you got to let go, lad. Let go. Leave it be.
Take care.
Lee, thanks, brother.
See you later, mate.
Yes, champ.
Bye.
Right, lad.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.